chickpeas, croutons, bacon bits, and 6 different dressings. So come on, come to Dino's and feel good. Hey, I'm feeling good.
Here at the Astrodome, we're back in time to hear Sue Lyons sing the national anthem, Sue Laws. On our national anthem prior to the start of tonight's Phillies-Houston game. And for the lineup, let's call in Chris Wheeler.
Okay, Andy, thank you. For the Phillies, I'll go with Bake McBride. He'll play right field. Larry Bowa, the shortstop, batting second. Mike Schmidt will be at third base. He'll hit number 3. Greg Luzinski in left field, batting fourth. Richie Hebner at first base. He'll hit number 5. Gary Maddox in center field. He's batting 6. Tim McCarver, the catcher, will hit number 7. Buddy Harrelson will be at second base tonight. He'll bat 8. The pitcher for the Phillies, left-hander Steve Carlson with a 4-3 record. For the Houston Astros, Terry Poole will lead off and play left. Enos Cabell, the third baseman, batting second. Cesar Cedeno in center field. Bob Watson will play first base and hit number 4. Art Howell, the second baseman, batting 5th. Jose Cruz will play right field. He'll hit number 6. Joe Ferguson, the catcher, batting 7th. Roger Metzger at shortstop. He'll hit number 8. And the pitcher's a right-hander, a 2-4 record, Mark Lemongello.
This broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Phillies solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Phillies is prohibited. The announcers on this broadcast are retained by WPHL-TV, subject to the approval of the Phillies who employ Chris Wheeler. Calling balls and strikes tonight, Bala Kinwood's Eric Craig. Billy Williams at first, Dick Sello at second, Bruce Fremming at third base. During tonight's Phillies game, each Philly that homers receives a free case of Tasty Cake and one for St. Edmund's Home for Crippled Children. The same goes for the Phillies' winning pitcher. And now you can win even more money in the Daily News home run payoff because this season every hit pays off. Tonight's payoff inning is the 5th. We'd like to welcome WWDB-FM as our flagship station tonight. And just a reminder that tomorrow evening the Phillies broadcast will return to its normal outlet, KYW. So the Phils and the Astros in the second game of this series. J.R. Richard turning in another shutout performance last night. It's his second root-going shutout of the year, his second two-hitter, and the third time the Phillies have been shut out this season. Houston winning last night by a 5-0 score. Mark Lemongello has not fared that well against the Phillies. He is 0-3 lifetime, including one defeat against the Phillies this year. The blow that beat him in that one was a Morrison home run. Jim is out of the lineup tonight. He's been slumping, and he's 0 for 17. And going back further than that, he is 1 for 26, the one being the home run against Lemongello. Here's Bake McBride to start the ball game for the Phillies. Billy DeMar is coaching at third base, and Tony Taylor at first. McBride, Boa, and Schmidt to bat for the Phillies in the first inning. The Phillies have a 139 batting average against Houston. But, of course, 2 of those 3 games have been pitched by J.R. Richard. Lemongello, 22 years of age. This is his second season. He is the cousin of entertainer Peter Lemongello and also a cousin of pro bowler Mike Lemongello. First pitch is high, ball 1. He has won 2 and lost 4, has a 3.68 earned run average. Cabell, the third baseman, ahead of the bag at third. And the pitch to McBride is over for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. At New York tonight, the Mets-Atlanta game has been rained out. At Montreal, the Expos and the Reds are 1-1 in the 4th inning. Here's a bunt. It's a beauty. Third base side, fielded by Ferguson. Throws off balance, not in time. A dandy of a bunt by McBride. It rolled only 10 feet down the third baseline, fair by 2 feet, and Ferguson never had a chance.
Dick really stopped that one, too. They were saying that they put this new AstroTurf in here, and the balls really roll foul as they roll down the line, but he got that one out in front of the plate a little bit and kept it out in fair territory, and that was an easy base hit for him.
That'll bring up Larry Boa. Larry batting at 296. Tom Seaver pitching against Wayne Twitchell at Olympic Stadium tonight. Here's a throw to first base, back in time, McBride. That ball game now in the 4th inning, 1-1. Other National League action will be later. Here's another throw to first, and this time McBride dives back in. In the American League this afternoon, Cleveland defeated Oakland 3-2. David Clyde, the winner. His first Major League win since May 15th of 1974. Bob Lacey, the losing pitcher. Stretching the pitch to Boa. Breaking ball, hammered hard to shortstop. Over to second for 1. Back to first. Threw it away. And Boa will go to second base as the throw went into the Houston dugout. Second baseman Art Howe will receive an error on that play because of his throw going into the dugout, permitting Boa to go to second base. McBride erased on the force out.
Well, Larry Boa's speed, of course, really made Art Howe hurry that throw, but he didn't have to hurry it as much because Boa hit the ball very, very hard, and he didn't take his time and threw the ball away, and there's an error on the second baseman.
Here's Mike Smith back in the lineup tonight. Mike, right-handed hitter, batting at 295. Leads the Phillies in RBIs with 21. Lemongello stretches. Here's the pitch to Smith. Swing and a miss at a slider, strike 1. Toronto leads California 2-0 at the end of 3. Don Assi pitching against Tommy Underwood. Seattle and Detroit scoreless at the end of 1.5. Rick Honeycutt pitching against Milt Wilcox. Lemongello stretches. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss at another slider. Lemongello in front, 0-2.
He's basically a two-pitch pitcher, sinker, slider, and he will throw a little bit of a changeup, I say. I think it's a pound ball, this changeup. But for the most part, he's a gutty little guy. He comes right at you with a fastball that sinks in the slider, and that's about it.
1 out in the inning. Here's the pitch to Schmidt. Fouled it back to the screen. Boston at Kansas City will have Bill Lee, who is undefeated this year with 5 victories against Paul Splittor, 4-2. New York at Chicago. Kenny Holtzman, the pitch for the Yankees tonight in a rare start. He's got a 0-0 record. Wilbur Wood, 3-3 for the Chi Sox. Milwaukee at Texas. Ted Sorensen, 3-3 against Doyle Alexander, 3-1. Nothing in 2 the count to Smith. Here is a mighty fly ball into deep left center field. Getting back is Terry Poole. He's on the warning track, and he pulls it in for the out right in front of the 390-foot mark. Very high fly ball. It is tough to get a home run in this park unless you hit it right on the button.
I'll tell you, I think the only other park in the United States that wouldn't hold that one's Yellowstone. He really smashed that thing. And it's very frustrating to players in this park to try and hit one out of here, and the Astro players will tell you that.
2 down. Boa remains at second base for Greg Luzinski. The Bull batting at 293. Stretch in the pitch. A slider is low, ball 1. Luzinski leading the Phillies in home runs with 8. He is only 1 off the National League lead of 9 by the Dodgers' Rick Monday. Lemongello stretches. Here's the pitch. Over for a strike. Another slider. 1 ball and 1 strike. Smith and Luzinski's figures are almost identical. Mike batting 295, the Bull 2 points less. Home runs 1 apart, RBIs also 1 apart. Fastball just missing. 2 balls and a strike to Greg Luzinski. No score in the ball game. Steve Carlton, the pitch for the Phillies tonight. Young right-hander Mark Lemongello, and here's his next delivery to the ball, and he fouls it away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last night we had a crowd of 9,943 here in the Dome. This evening it would appear to be a few more than that. Watching this ball game, a 4-game series between the Phillies and the Astros. Lemongello asking for a new baseball from home plate umpire Eric Gregg. Boa at second. Here's the pitch on the way to Luzinski. A changeup is high. Full count to the ball. Greg was 0 for 2 batting against Lemongello last Wednesday in Philadelphia. Here's the full count pitch. And it is low and outside, ball 4. Greg Luzinski walks. And the Phillies have runners at first and second. Here's a guy swinging a pretty good bat right now, Richie Hebner, batting at .299. Hebner, one of 2 Phillies to get hit last night. The other, Gary Maddox. Hebner has batted safely in 12 of the last 15 games.
Hebner is just the way he likes things. When he was in Pittsburgh, there was a lot of attention paid to him there, and right here, he's just one of the guys and just gets in the lineup and does his job, doesn't say much, and he's a real pro, and the Phillies are very, very lucky to have a player like him around.
Hebner, a left-handed batter. Lemongello stretches. Here's his pitch to Hebner, crowding the plate, and a fastball is over for a strike. Hebner right up on that plate, as he always is. 3 home runs and 15 runs knocked in for Richie. Bo is the runner at second. Luzinski at first, 2 down. Pitch to Hebner, changeup fouled off. 0-2 to Hebner, and Chris, you've got to say that Lemongello has been getting ahead of the hitters.
I always liked this guy, and he lost a lot of games last year, and I don't really go for that cliche that you have to be a good pitcher to lose 22 because you go out there so much, but he battles you. He gives up base runners, and he'll get up, base hits and walk a guy, but he always seems to come back and get the guy when you need it.
Stretching the pitch to Hebner, check swing, called third strike. Hebner strikes out, and the inning is over for the Phillies. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. At the end of the half inning, Phillies nothing, Astros coming up.
Chrysler LeBaron's a good combination. It's a car sized for today's living, yet loaded with luxury. It gives you your money's worth of sensibly sized style. In your choice of 3 models, the young stylish 2-door, a classic 4-door, and the new LeBaron Town & Country wagon. The difference between this wagon and any other is luxury. Why drive a car that doesn't feel great? Why not get your money's worth of style and luxury? When LeBaron gives you all this, why settle for anything less? See it at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
All of Ronald's 16 cars and gift shops have friendly people waiting to give you personal attention. Select beautiful gifts at a leisurely pace for friends, family, or even for yourself. You gift wrap free at Warren's, where shopping is a pleasure. Warren's has a complete candle department. Hallmark cards, honey figurines, Monet jewelry, copper, brass, and fine wood products. Imported lake crystal, gifts for all ages. Rent free at the wonderful world of wine. Visit our Warren's card and gift shop in the Canfield Shopping Center, Harrisburg.
Steve Carlton for the Phillies, and he has pitched excellent baseball. His last 2 outings have both been route-going jobs, and he has won 3 straight ball games. Lefty is 4-3 coming in. His earned run average a sparkling 2.12. He will face a left-handed batter to start at Terry Poole. Bob Lillis coaching at third base. Tony Pacheco at first for Houston. No score in the ball game. Left-hander into his windup. The pitch on the way to Poole is a fastball outside, ball 1. The Astros have won 4 of their last 5 games, and they have moved to within 2 games of 500. The pitch to Poole is pop foul back over top the screen. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Astros have won 14 and dropped 16. They are in 4th place in the National League West. Here is a curveball over for a called strike. 1-2 the count to Terry Poole, batting at .297. Carlton's 1-2 delivery is laced into center field for a base hit. And it's going to go beyond Maddox. Extra bases for Poole. That ball really skidded on the turf. He is rounding second, heading for third, and he goes in standing up with a triple. Terry Poole with a triple to almost straightaway center field. It went slightly to the left of Maddox into right center, but that ball really skipped by Gary, and it's a triple for Poole.
Well, the Phillies played Terry Poole way around. Obviously, Gary Maddox was in left center field on that, and Carlton hung the curveball in on him, so he was able to hit the ball to the right side of center field, and once he got it out there, there's nobody there. And Terry Poole's a good ball player. He can really run, and no problem getting to third base once it got in the alley.
That brings up Enos Cabell. Phillies infield back on the left, in on the right. The pitch to him is grounded foul into the Phillies dugout, strike one. Cabell batting at .250. That triple by Poole, his name is spelled P-U-H-L. The triple by Poole means that he has batted safely now in 8 straight ball games and 11 of the last 12. Wind up in the pitch. Here's a hard hit ball, base hit into left field, and the Astros lead the game 1-0. Terry Poole scores on the single by Cabell. 1-0 Houston. Sharply hit ball about a foot away from Boa's outstretched glove at shortstop, and RBI number 18 for Cabell. Here's Cesar Cedeno, and has he been tough on Phillies pitching? Cesar is 6 out of 9 against the Phillies, including a pair of home runs. He has hit a triple, and he has stolen 4 bases. Cedeno was on base all 4 times he came up last night and scored 3 runs. Cedeno batting at .289. Carlton stretches, makes a throw to first base, and diving back in is Cabell. Carlton with the good move, of course. Cedeno, a .304 lifetime batter against the Phillies. Carlton stretches again. He goes to first base. Cabell gets back. Tomorrow night in Game 3 of this series, Randy Lurch for the Phillies, Joaquin Andujar for Houston, right-hander. Astros lead the ball game 1-0. Stretching another throw to first base. Cabell got back easily this time. Carlton has yet to make a pitch to Cedeno. Cesar batting at .289. He has stolen 14 bases. Cedeno stepping back to rub some dirt on his hands, or actually on his batting gloves. Carlton stretches. And the pitch to Cedeno is a fastball outside, ball 1. Well, from talking home today, we understand it's been raining in the Philadelphia area. Has been, of course, since the Phillies were there over the weekend, and the game at Shea Stadium between the Braves and the Mets was rained out tonight. Pitch to Cedeno, hammered and back the middle, right off the handle of the bat, a base hit. Going to third base is Cabell. He will make it standing up. Carlton really fought him off. Cedeno hit that ball right off the fist. He didn't get much of it at all, but it went right back the middle for a base hit.
Well, there's really not much you can do about that. The Phillies are playing Cedeno kind of straight away, and he really almost didn't hit the ball hard enough to get it in the outfield, and once it did get there, it was going so slow that the runner was able to get to third. And Phillies will play the infield back now and try and get a double play ball out of Bob Watson.
Stretching a throw to first base and safe. Just back in time with Cedeno. It looked like they had him. When he started to make that move, you could probably hear Chris in the background, and it certainly looked as though they had a chance, but his hand just beat the tag. Hebner putting the tag on under the armpit, and the hand reaching back to the bag in time. Carlton stretches, goes to first again. Cedeno is back. He has stolen 4 bases against the Phillies. 4 of his 14 have come at Phillies' expense.
Yeah, it's the time when he try and run, too, and steal the base and get out of the double play situation. He's just so quick, I can't believe he got back.
Another throw to first base, and again he goes back head first, but makes it. Nobody out as the Astros have had 3 consecutive hits off Carlton. Lefty stretches. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss by Watson and a curveball. Strike 1. Bob batting at .280, leading the Astros in RBIs with 21. Now time has been called. Time called by second base umpire Dick Stello. We're ready to go. Carlton stretches, makes a throw to first base. Cedeno almost standing on the bag this time. Carlton at the belt. Here's his pitch to the plate. A fastball is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Still nobody out in the inning. Poole tripled. Cabell singled him home. And then Cedeno got a little clinker back the middle that was good for a hit. Pitch to Watson is pop foul out of play. Over top the Houston dugout and into the crowd. The Astro dugout is on the first base side. Visiting dugout on the third base side here at the Astrodome, which they still bill as the eighth wonder of the world. Here's the throw to first base. Cedeno is back. Of course, the Superdome in New Orleans is much bigger than this building. Stretching the 1-2 pitch to Watson. It's in the dirt. Good stop by McCarver. A slider was low and inside, but Timmy stopped it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is a key situation in this ball game. Here's the 2-2 delivery, swinging a foul back. The reason I say that, it's early and it's only 1-0, but the Phillies traditionally and historically don't score many runs in this ballpark. So they don't want to get down very far. Here's a throw to first base. Cedeno back. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count on Watson. Carlton has handled him well. Last year, Watson had only 1 hit and 10 tries against the left-hander. Watson asking for time at the plate. Here's the stretch, and there goes Cedeno, and it was a curveball grounded through for a base hit on the left side. Scoring on the play is Cabell. On his way to third base easily, Cedeno, as he was running on the pitch, and the Astros lead it 2-0. RBI number 22 for Bob Watson, and the 4th consecutive hit for the Astros. A grounder in the hole left side, and the Astros lead this ball game 2-0. There was a case where Cedeno would never have gone to third had he not been running on the pitch because the ball was right into left field. But he made it easily. Here's Art Howe batting at .278, right-handed batter. Houston leads it 2-0. Runners at first and third. The pitch to Howe, swing and a foul tip, strike 1. Howe with 3 homers and 8 runs batted in. Last night he struck out against Brewster in the 5th inning. He had gone 91 at bats between strikeouts, which is amazing. The pitch to him is fouled away. Carlton ahead in the count, 0-2. Howe has struck out only 3 times this year. They're very pleased with him. He had been a reserve infielder all of his big league career. Won a job here midway through last year. He is 31 years of age. The pitch to him, just a little low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A triple and 3 singles, and Carlton has yet to get an out. Here's the stretch. Pitch on the way to Howe. It's a breaking ball, drilled to right field, but McBride will get it. Makes the one-handed grab, tagging at third base Cedeno. He will score without a throw, and the Astros lead it 3-0. A sacrifice fly RBI by Howe. Holding at first base was Bob Watson. RBI number 9 for Howe. That's the first out of the inning, and it brings up Jose Cruz, left-handed batter, hitting at .275. Stretching the pitch by Carlton. It's outside, ball 1. Cruz has not homered this year. He has driven in 7 runs. The 1-0 pitch to him is a breaking ball to tie, 2-0. Last year, Cruz batted .299, and they voted him the Astros' most valuable player. In addition to his batting average, he also stole 44 bases. Here's Carlin's next pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him on a slider. 2 balls and a strike to count on Cruz. 4 consecutive hits by the Astros. Swing and a miss again. An outside slider for the 2nd pitch in a row, and Carlton had him going after both of them. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count on Cruz. Here's Carlin's next delivery, and it's just off the outside corner. We've got a full count. Cesar Cedeno, 7 out of 10 against Phillies pitching this year. And it's outside, ball 4. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Phillies Baseball Network.
Talk to Irv Homer after the game on the Delaware Valley's only 2-way talk station, WWDB, Philadelphia.
The batter is Joe Ferguson, right-handed hitting catcher with a .227 average, but he's got 5 home runs. Stretching the pitch by Carlton, swinging and a missed curveball, strike 1. Watson at second, Cruz at first with the first walk given out by Carlton. And there was only 1 out in the inning. The left-hander stretches, and here's the pitch. Strike call. Action in the Phillies bullpen for the first time. Ron Reed getting up to throw. Shortstop Roger Metzger is on deck. Here's the pitch to Ferguson. It's a fastball outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Carlton has the sign from McCarver. Here's his delivery. A curveball, tap foul at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ferguson failed to hit off Carlton last year, going 0 for 7.
Carlton doesn't seem to be struggling that much with his pitches. He seems to be throwing well. The Astros just seem to get it. Everything they hit seems to go through right now.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just a little bit low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. One out in the inning. Carlton stretches. Here's his pitch. Fastball outside. We've got a full count. It's been a tough inning for a left-hander. Even though, as Chris mentioned, some of the balls were seeing eye hits. Stretch in the 3-2 pitch. Very high pop foul out of play, third base side, off a curveball.
Joe Ferguson, a definite double play threat at home plate, and a lot of times you like to start your runners with a guy like him in this situation, except he strikes out so much that Verdon didn't do it last time.
Here again, the 3-2 pitch. It hits it. He was hit by the pitch, and the bases are loaded. It came in and hit him on the left leg. It would have been ball 4 if it hadn't hit him anyway, so the bases are loaded. Ray Ripplemeyer, Phillies pitching coach, is headed out of the dugout. Certainly they're not going to lift Carlton here, but they will talk about what's going wrong here and how to work to Roger Metzger with the bases loaded and only 1 out.
Well, it looked like Lefty was seeing his way out of it when he finally got the out with the fly ball by Art Howell, and the left-hander hitting Jose Cruz coming up, and he got ahead of him and then missed with a couple of pitches and wound up walking him, and he got ahead of Ferguson and walked him too. And it's one of the worst first innings we've seen Carlton have in a long time.
Yankees got a couple of runs in the first inning. They lead Chicago 2-0. Baltimore, Minnesota scoreless at the end of 1. Detroit 1, Seattle 0. They've gone to the 4th inning. Here's Metzger, switch hitter. Carlton from the full windup, and the pitch to him is low, ball 1. Metzger, of course, batting right-handed, and his average is .243. Bases loaded with Astros. 1 out. 3 runs are in. Wind up in the pitch. Strike. Metzger checked his swing, but it was across at the knees, says Eric Gregg. 1 ball and 1 strike. Eric was my seatmate flying down from Philadelphia. Quite an interesting fellow. He's wanted to be an umpire for a long time. Here's the 1-1 pitch. A ground ball to second base. Over to ball for 1. Back to first. Double play. And the inning is over. So for all the trouble, the Phillies finally get out of it with a double play. It'll be 3 runs, 4 hits, and 2 men left on base. At the end of 1 inning, the Astros lead at 3-0. Now time for a tasty break.
Springtime is pie time, especially since right now Tasty Cake has special savings for you on their delicious varieties of fresh-baked Tasty Cake pies, like apple pie, cherry, peach, blueberry, French apple, and lemon pie. Look for these special springtime savings at participating stores and bring home Tasty Cake pies. They're all the good things wrapped up in one.
Tasty Cake is a world of fun. All the things wrapped up in one.
There's a demanding cat around. He's at your Lincoln Mercury dealers, and he wants these dealers to sell every Mercury in stock. Every one. That means you have a great chance to get into any one of his fine cars right now. From the full-size Mercury Marquis, right through his Cougars, Zephyrs, Monarchs, and Bobcats. They're all up for grabs right now. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer quick, because that cat means business. That's the sign of the cat.
Twelve home games coming up with the Pirates, Dodgers, Giants, and Braves in the next Phillies homestand beginning Monday, May 29th. The Pirates will be in on Memorial Day. That ball game scheduled to begin at 8:35. And remember, a spectacular post-game fireworks show. Then on Tuesday, May 30th and Wednesday, May 31st, the Pirates in for single night games beginning at 7:35. On Friday, June 2nd, the National League champion Dodgers move into town for a weekend series. Friday night's game begins at 8:05. Saturday, the game is 2:15. And Sunday, June 4th, when the Dodgers are in, it'll be wristband day for all kids 14 or under, with game time at 1:35. Here's Gary Maddox to lead it off for the Phillies. Gary, one of 2 who had hits against J.R. Richard last night. Maddox and Hebner had singles. Pitch on the way to Gary. Hard hit ball to center field, but Cedeno is right there, and he catches that wickedly hit line drive by taking just a few steps to his right. Maddox out. He really hit that on the button. 1 up, 1 down for the Phillies on 1 pitch, and here's Tim McCarver, left-handed batting catcher. Timmy, as Carlton's catcher last year, batted .314. Right now, McCarver heading for the plate with a .304 average. Houston leads it 3-0. Right-hander Mark Lemongello into the windup, and the first pitch is over for a strike. So far, the Phillies have 1 hit, a bunt single by McBride. The 1-strike pitch to McCarver is a changeup and a tie. 1 ball, 1 strike to McCarver. The Astros playing him straight away. A pitch on the way to Timmy is a little inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Second baseman Bud Harrelson waiting on deck. Lemongello to the windup, and here is the pitch. It is a very high fly ball in shallow center field. Coming on is Cedeno, and he takes it for the out. McCarver out on a very high fly ball to shallow center. That's the second out of the inning, and it'll bring up Bud Harrelson. Harrelson batting at .286. Playing at second base tonight. Buddy's gotten a lot of work lately. Has played the last 2 games at second. Prior to that, he played 2 straight games at shortstop for Boa. First pitch is fouled back to the screen. Strike 1. Buddy, a switch hitter, batting left-handed. Well, Mark Lemongello has never beaten the Phillies, but his team has faked him to a 3-0 start. Pitch to Harrelson is low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Harrelson did not get any at-bats last week in Philadelphia when Lemongello pitched for the Astros. Wind up in the 1-1 pitch. It's a fly ball to right field. Cruz moving toward the line a few steps, and he takes it for the out. Phillies out 1-2-3 in the second. At the end of 1.5, Houston leads 3-0.
A luxury car ought to give you your money's worth of luxury. It ought to be big enough for you to stretch out in and have a smooth and easy ride. Chrysler Cordova gives you all that and more. You not only get options like Corinthian leather, but 5 different roof styles. Not to mention that great Chrysler engineering. The standard features like the lean burn engine that gives you better performance. Chrysler Cordova, the ultimate personal luxury car. See it at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer and get your money's worth.
You want to feel good, then you just gotta come to Geno's. Because that's where you'll find Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken. Golden brown and finger-licking good. They go together. Kentucky Fried Chicken and Geno's. So come on. Come to Geno's and feel good.
Here's the pitcher, Mark Lemongello, to lead off for the Astros in the second inning. Lemongello, Poole, and Cabell to face left-hander Steve Carlton. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Lemongello with 2 hits and 9 times up. Well, the Reds have scored 4 times in the 5th inning and driven Wayne Twitchell from the mound. Carlton misses 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe Morgan hit a 3-run homer for Cincinnati. Swing and a miss by Lemongello. Dan Schatzeder is now in there pitching for the Expos. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Lemongello. Wind up in the pitch by Carlton. Swing and a miss. He gets his first strikeout of the ball game. Lemongello strikes out to start the Astros' second inning, and here's Terry Poole, who began the ball game by tripling to center field. If you're keeping a score sheet, Joe Ferguson was not hit by a pitch in the first inning. He was walked. It was a 3-2 pitch. It appeared as though he was hit, but the ball bouncing in front of the plate, and it was ruled ball 4. So change the scorebook to show that Carlton has issued 2 walks. There's a strike call to Poole after Carlton missed on the first pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
If that ball had bounced and hit him, it would have been a hit batter, too. Some people don't realize that.
Next pitch to the left-handed batter is a fastball at the knees, a strike. The triple by Poole raised his average to 303. Carlin winds, and the 1-2 pitch is low and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros with 3 runs and 4 hits in the first inning. The 2-2 pitch is fouled away, and Poole really reached outside to go for a bad pitch. 2-2 the count. Here's Carlin's next delivery, and it's outside. Full count on Terry Poole. Astros lead the game 3-0. The full count pitch is a hard hit ball into left center field, but Luzinski on the run takes that ball. Gregg to his left into left center. Hauled in the ball, hit by Terry Poole for the second out.
Well, that time Poole hit the ball the way the Phillies were defensing, and we mentioned in the first inning how the Phillies play him well over towards left center field, and he hit the ball to right center field the first time up, and the ball was hit well off the bat, but Luzinski was positioned perfectly that time.
He knows Cabell, the batter. He singled in a run in the first. A curveball is grounded to deep shortstop. Larry Boa has it. Here is his throw. It is in time for the out. Cabell out at first, and the Astros retired 1-2-3. At the end of 2, Houston leads it 3-0. Now time for a tasty break.
Tasty cake is a day in spring, a brand new love for a golden ring. Tasty cake is the morning sun. It's all the good things wrapped up in one. Tasty cake is a bitter feeling, a song that sings of you and me. Tasty cake is a world of fun. It's all the good things wrapped up in one.
Springtime is pie time, especially since right now Tasty Cake has special savings for you on all their delicious varieties of fresh-baked Tasty Cake pies, like apple pie, peach, cherry, blueberry, French apple, or lemon pie. Pies you can pop in a lunchbox or serve as a taste-testing treat when the kids come home from school. Look for these special springtime savings at participating stores and bring home Tasty Cake pies. They're truly all the good things wrapped up in one.
Tasty cake is a world of fun. It's all the good things wrapped up in one.
Well, a big weekend series with the Los Angeles Dodgers on the Phillies' next homestand. Friday, June 2nd, the Phillies and the Dodgers at 8:05. Saturday, June 3rd, the Phillies in Los Angeles at 2:15. The tickets for that one, by the way, say 7:35, but game time has been changed officially to 2:15. And then Sunday, June 4th, the Phillies and the Dodgers at 1:35. Free red and white Phillies wristbands to all kids 14 or under. Here's left-hander Steve Carlton to lead it off for the Phillies. A person that looks strangely like Chris Wheeler was seen on the tennis courts here in Houston today, a sight never before witnessed by any of our traveling party. Is that you?
Great potential, you said, huh?
That's it. Carlin takes the first pitch outside a ball, batting at .316. You do look like you have possibility.
I had never played tennis till today, and I must admit I really enjoyed that little bit we played.
Here's the 1-0 to Carlin. It's in for a called strike. In about a week and a half, you might go right past some members of our party, including yours truly.
Well, we'll see.
1 ball and 1 strike to Carlin. Here's a changeup, but it's outside. 2 balls and a strike. The Astros lead this game 3-0. Wind up in the pitch by Lemongello. Hard hit ball. It's a base hit to center field. Steve Carlin singles to the right of second baseman Art Howe. And Carlin gets a hit.
And a standing ovation from Beverly Carlton down here behind home plate.
That is Lefty's 7th hit of the year. Second hit of the ball game for the Phillies. And here's Bake McBride, who has the other one. It was a bunt single, perfectly placed, 10 feet down the third baseline in the first inning. The Astro infield sets up for the double play. Lemongello stretches. Pitch on the way to McBride. It's a pop-up. Somebody should get this. Watson, first baseman, in foul ground in front of the Houston dugout. Gloves it for the out. McBride fouls out to Bob Watson. That's the first out of the inning as Carlin holds first.
This park probably has the least amount of foul room of any in baseball. I can't think of any other in the National League. And when you pop up foul in this park, that means you've really gotten jammed because they just can't go very far for foul balls. The dugouts come out very quickly here.
Here's Larry Boa, grounded into a force out. Pitch to the left-handed batter is a one-hopper fielded by Metzger to second for 1, back to first. Safe. Larry beat it out. And so that'll be another force play, and Bo, his speed really paid off because he hit that ball hard, and it really looked like it was going to be a double play ball.
He's in a tough luck tonight, and he hit a ball just like that to Metzger last night, and Metzger seems to be in the right place every time. Hit 3 balls right on the nose now to Roger Metzger, and he's almost grounded into 2 double plays.
Heading for the plate is Mike Schmidt. Mike flied out to very deep left field his first time up. Terry Poole going way back on the warning track to drag down his towering fly ball. Throw to first base, Bo is back in time. 2 outs in the inning. The Astros lead this game 3-0. Schmidt, who sat out last night's game with a heavy cold, back in there tonight. Pitch on the way to the team captain is a called strike. One strike on Schmidt. Stretching the pitch by Lemongello. Change-up, swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. For some reason, the Phillies don't score runs in this ballpark. Tonight, they've hit the ball hard on several occasions, and most of them have been caught or turned into outs. Here is a fastball that goes right under Mike's chin. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's the old 0-2 fastball, push him back, come back with the slider away, and we'll see what happens.
Well, he gave Mike the close shave on that one. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Stretching the pitch, and it's up just a little bit high. That was a fastball. 2-2 the count.
This place has like a Carnegie Hall atmosphere to it. I don't know what it is. It just lulls the Phillies to sleep, and you kind of get lulled to sleep just sitting here. It's so quiet in here all the time.
Stretching the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. A slider outside. It was foul tip. But Ferguson hung on to the ball, and Smitty strikes out. So for the Phillies in the third, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. At the end of 2.5, Houston leads 3-0.
Plymouth Arrow gets great mileage, 39 on the highway, 29 in the city, and has a low sticker price, $38.41, excluding taxes and destination charges, and features like reclining buckets, tinted glass, and fold-down rear seats. So when you get a Plymouth Arrow, you get your money's worth. The mileage is an EPA estimate for a manual transmission Arrow with 1.6-liter engine. Your mileage may differ. Plymouth Arrow's great mileage, price, and features give you your money's worth. See it today at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
There are 2 things I remember about 58. I spent more on oil for my hair than I had. This year I got myself a Chevy wagon and 4 more things to remember. Billy Jean, Billy Joe, Billy Jean, and Billy Bob. I've had a lot of different kinds of Chevys over the years, but one kind of spark plug, champion.
You can't buy a better spot for any kind of car than Champion. Champion. You can't buy a better spot no matter where you are than Champion. Champion's number 1 in the world. Number 1 in your car.
Did I forget someone? Did I forget Billy Jack?
Cesar Cedeno will start the Astros third inning. The Phillies have to find a way to get this guy out. He has 7 hits and 10 times up against the Phillies this year, including 2 home runs and a triple, and he's stolen 4 bases. He singled and scored in the first inning tonight. Carlin into his windup. Here's the first pitch to the right-handed batter. Bluffs a bunt, but the pitch is low, ball 1. Cedeno, Watson, and Howe will face Carlin here in the third. Houston leading it 3-0. Pitch on the way to Cedeno. A fastball is outside. One of the Phillies players today was saying that when Cedeno is hitting well, it seems like his whole game picks up. He steals more bases, makes better plays in the outfield. 2-0 pitch on the way is a fly ball to right field. Headed toward the line is McBride, backing off a step, and he takes it for the out. Cedeno went for a bad pitch that time, an outside pitch, and he skied out to right field for the first out of the inning. Here's Bob Watson, the Houston RBI leader. He picked up his 22nd tonight on a first-inning single. Watson, a career 300 batter and a tough out. Garland's wind up and pitch. Swing and a foul ball. That got home plate umpire Eric Gregg right on the mask.
Bruce Fleming took a heck of a beating behind home plate last night.
Bruce here happy to be down there at third base tonight.
Yeah. So are most of the Phillies. Glad to see him down there.
Pretty close to the dugout, though. Here's a pitch on the inside corner, a strike.
I think all those foul tips got him a little irritable.
No balls and 2 strikes on Bob Watson. Bud Harrelson was also ejected in last night's ball game. We were not aware of it at the time. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He was already removed from the ball game. It was low ball, 1-2 the count. So Harrelson not in the lineup, but he was tossed out. The 1-2 pitch. Watson takes a fastball outside.
He made a remark about Bruce's diminutive stature.
Time called as Carlin was in the windup to make the 2-2 pitch. Carlin stopping abruptly. Pitchers hate to do that.
And when Bruce threw him out, he said, "How can you throw me out? I'm already out of the game."
Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's blowing inside. Ball 3. Carlin working a full count. Cincinnati 5, Montreal 1. The game in the 6th inning. Tom Seaver against Dan Schatzeder. Here's a hard hit ball down the left field line, but foul, out of play. Watson drilled Carlton's curveball hard, but foul down the left field line. Again, the 3-2 pitch, low inside, ball 4, and that's the 3rd batter that Carlton has walked. The Astros get a runner here in the 3rd with 1 away. It brings up Art Howe. His sacrifice fly drove home the Astros' 3rd run in the opening inning. 9th run batted in of the year for Howe, who is batting at .278. What a sparkling defensive play Howe made in the 9th inning of last night's ball game against Jay Johnstone. Moving over toward first base and throwing to Richard covering the bag. Here's a pitch out, but nothing was happening.
This guy, you have to give him credit. I didn't really think much of Art Howe, and last year he came on a little bit, and they've got him playing second base now. He's a pretty good second baseman. He swings the bat. He doesn't strike out, and he's...
What a sparkling defensive play Howe made in the 9th inning of last night's ball game against Jay Johnstone. Moving over toward first base and throwing to Richard covering the bag. Here's a pitch out, but nothing was happening.
This guy, you have to give him credit. I didn't really think much of Art Howe, and last year he came on a little bit, and they've got him playing second base now. He's a pretty good second baseman. He swings the bat. He doesn't strike out, and he's really come into his own as a good player.
Stretch in the pitch by Carlton. A fastball is popped foul out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike.
At one time, Andy, he was the guy at Pittsburgh where they were platooning at third base with Richie Hebner, and you used to see him once in a while, and he never really impressed anybody, but since coming down here the last couple of years, he's really turned into a good ball player.
Carlin stretches. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Called strike right at the knees. I heard Jerry Martin talking about Howe today. Jerry played against him in the minor leagues, and he has always been impressed by Howe, and just judging by the way Jerry was talking, I think Jerry's a little jealous that Howe has eventually won a regular job and he hasn't. Here's a curveball fouled off the third base side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to second baseman Art Howe. Ball and 2 strikes on Howe. Carlin stretches. Here's the pitch to him. It is a breaking ball up high. 2-2. There's 1 out in the inning. Watson's at first base. He's been on base twice tonight. The Astros ahead on the scoreboard, 3-0. Carlin's 2-2 pitch is a fastball. Line drive, base hit to left field, close to the line. Watson takes the turn but holds on. Sharply hit single to left field by Art Howe. Broken bat on that play, but Howe got the hit. Number 5 for the Astros in this ball game.
Carlson really made a good pitch on Art Howe, and the Phillies are just in their Astrodome syndrome again this year. It seems like everything they hit goes through, or break your bat and it goes through, and it's just one of those things, and just score some runs to get out of it.
The pitch to Jose Cruz is popped foul out of play, strike 1. Watson at second, Howe at first with 1 down. Cruz walked in the first inning. He's batting .275. Carlin stretches. Here's the pitch to Cruz. It's a curveball in for a strike called. Nothing in 2 to count to Cruz. Here's a curveball that's just outside. And wait a minute. The third base umpire says he did not check his swing. That's a strike. Bruce Fleming agreeing with catcher Tim McIver, who asked for the check, and that'll be a strikeout.
It was interesting to see what Fleming would do on that because it wasn't one of those real obvious check swings like the other night in Philadelphia, and it was a strike, but it was a tough one for him to call, and he got it right.
Second out of the inning. Here's a curveball and a very high fly ball into right field. Bake McBride headed toward the line, and he grabs it for the out. And the Astros are retired in the third. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left on base. Harry Callis will have the play-by-play in just a moment. At the end of 3, Houston leads the ball game 3-0.
Play ball with Richard Buick Volvo in Newtown Square. King Richard's got it all. Buick, Opels, Volvos, leasing. Don't strike out. Save a bundle on all 1978 models. Drive a little, save a lot. Listen to this. A brand new 1978 Buick Electra. Air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, and more. Only $65.99. And talk about leasing. A new 1978 Regal Coupe with factory air, $139 a month, 3-year open-end lease. That's King Richard for a lion-hearted deal on Westchester Pike in Newtown Square.
What goes into making a superstar? Well, there are physical ingredients, of course, and great desire. There's also a thing called slowness. Slowness? Sure, because we're talking about Budweiser, the superstar of beers. And in brewing Bud, slowness is very important. Slow is the Budweiser way to age beer, the natural way, with no shortcuts. Why, a Budweiser brewery even has to be specially built, with extra lagering tanks for beechwood aging. On the field, fast is fine. But at the brewery, slow is best. And every drop of beechwood-aged Budweiser tells you so. Every time you settle back and enjoy that one-of-a-kind, easy Budweiser taste. And let me tell you, there's no better time than right now, during the game, to have yourself a cold Bud. Because when you say Budweiser, you've really said it all.
Greg Luzinski leading off for the Phillies here in the 4th inning. Houston leading at 3-0. Harry Callis along with Chris Wheeler. The Astrodome in Houston. Luzinski walks his first time up. Mark Lemongello, 22-year-old right-hander, winds, and the pitch to Luzinski is low and away for a ball. Lemongello's best game this year against Cincinnati, a 3-hitter. He had a no-hit until the 8th inning when John Bench broke up the no-hitter. 1-0 pitch. Swinging a high foul down the first base side, back out of play into the seat. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Luzinski. Phillies so far have 2 hits off Lemongello, a bunt single by Bake McBride, and a base hit by pitcher Steve Carlton. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Luzinski, swing at a high fly ball, right center field. Right there is Jose Cruz. He makes the catch, 1 down. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Phillies Baseball Network.
Dominic Flynn, weekdays 9 to noon on the Delaware Valley's only two-way talk radio station, WWBD Philadelphia.
Bring on Ricky Hebner. Hebner was called out on strikes his first time up. Lemongello's pitch to him. This is outside for a ball. One-0 pitch to Hebner is high and inside. It's ball 2, 2-0. Lemongello is struck out 2. He's walked 1. There's a 2-0 pitch to Hebner, and that's high and away. Ball 3, 3-0. Gary Maddox waiting on deck. 3-0 pitch. Over for a strike call. 3-1 to Rich Hebner. Hebner steps out, looks down at Bill DeMars. Wind up by Lemongello. 3-1 pitch, outside ball 4. Watkins. Second walk given up by Lemongello. Hebner a base runner with 1 down, and that'll bring up Gary Maddox. Maddox lined out to center his first time up. A hard hit ball, but right at Cesar Cedeno. Richie Hebner first base and 1 out. There's a pitch to Maddox, swinging a very high pop-up toward the shortstop, Roger Metzger. He's right there waiting. And Metzger squeezes it. Maddox is out, 2 down. I'll bring on Tim McCarver. McCarver flied out to center his first time up.
Richie Hebner, first base, 2 outs. Fourth inning, Houston leading 3-0. Houston scored 3 in the first, collecting 4 straight hits. Here's a stretch by Lemongello. The pitch to McCarver is a breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike called. 1 strike to Tim McCarver. Stretch by Lemongello. His pitch, change, swing, and a miss. The ball gets by Joe Ferguson, and Hebner moves up to second base. It'll be a pass ball. 0-2 to Tim McCarver. Hebner moves up to second on the pass ball on Ferguson. Lemongello throws a pound ball for his changeup. Stretch by Lemongello, the 2-strike pitch. Swing and a base hit to right field. Rounding third is Richie Hebner. He's going to score, and it's a 3-1 ball game. Lemongello tried to throw a fastball by McCarver with a count 0-2, and he didn't get the job done. Tim lined a single to right. And the Phillies are on the board, now trailing 3-1.
It's a good run for the Phillies. They finally score down here, and they get it on a mistake by the Houston Astros. The pass ball by Joe Ferguson put the run in scoring position, and Tim McCarver hits the 0-2 pitch for a base hit and gets a run in it. Phillies just have to get on the board down here, and they're finally able to do it.
Here's Buddy Harrelson, and the pitch to him is on the outside corner for a strike called. 1 strike to Bud Harrelson. He flied out to right his first time up. Pitch to Harrelson. Swing and a nubbing foul off the end of his bat right to the on-deck man, Steve Carlton. 0-2 to Harrelson. Tim McCarver, first base, 2 outs, a run in. Stretch by Lemongello, 2-strike hit, swing and a base hit, slaps to left field. Stopping at second base is McCarver. Bud Harrelson slaps the single to left. So the Phillies have 2 men on base and 2 outs. That'll bring up Steve Carlton. Carlton singled his first time up. Lefty came into this season with a lifetime batting average of 200. 9 career homers, 77 runs batted in. This year, at this moment, he's hitting 350. So Carlton with a chance to help himself here. McCarver at second base. At first base, Bud Harrelson, 2 outs. Lemongello stretches. The pitch to Carlton is a strike called on the outside corner. Lemongello stretches. Here's his pitch to Carlton. Swing and a bouncing foul back behind the plate. Well, the count is 0-2 to Steve Carlton. McCarver at second, Harrelson at first, 2 outs, a run in. Art Howe is trotting in to talk to Mark Lemongello.
We probably just want to talk over on what kind of a pitch Lemongello is going to throw to Carlton. Carlton is really well respected as a hitter. Hits the ball all over the place, and you really have to play him straight away. I'm sure Lemongello or Howe wanted to know just where Lemongello was going to throw this 0-2 pitch.
Here's the 2-strike pitch, swinging a ground ball right back at Lemongello. He gloves and throws. Carlton is out. Phillies down in the fourth. The score run of the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's Houston 3 and the Phils 1.
2 years ago, Plymouth introduced the most successful car in its history, Polaris. Today, we've got it in 3 styles that all give you your money's worth. The Slant 6 Coupe that gets better mileage than any 6-cylinder automatic built in America. The sedan that's roomiest in its class. And the wagon that's become the #1 selling wagon in America over the past 2 years. Coupe, sedan, or wagon. Polaris gives you your money's worth. See it today at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Here's Joni Reed and her husband, Phillies pitcher Ron Reed, with a message from Acme Market.
Ron always enjoys his most favorite dish, Southern Poppy Seed Chicken. So when I make Southern Poppy Seed Chicken for Ron, I always insist on using the best quality ingredients. Acme Market asked me to prepare Ron's favorite dish by using Acme's own products, starting with their chicken, ideal cream of chicken soup, crackers, Ideal sour cream, Ideal margarine, and other Acme products.
You can get Julie Reed's Phillies home plate recipe for poppy seed chicken at any Acme Super Station.
Well, Ron, how do you like them?
It's ideal, honey. By the way, that was a great pitch you made for Acme.
We'd like you to try Julie Reed's poppy seed chicken, and just as she did, get all your quality ingredients at your nearby Acme Super Saver Market.
Roger Metzger, the shortstop, leads off for Houston in the fourth. He grounded into a double play his first time up. Here's Carlton's windup, and the pitch to Metzger pops a foul out of play. One strike to count to Roger Metzger. Houston 3, the Phillies 1. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Pitch to Metzger. Another foul ball, this time hit on a line down the right field line. 0-2 to Metzger. Here's the two-strike pitch. Fastball inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wind up by Carlton, the 1-2 pitch, swing and a bouncing foul back behind the plate. Stays 1-2 to Metzger. Houston got 4 straight hits off Carlton in the first inning. A triple by Poole, singles by Cabell, Cedeno, and Watson, and scored their 3. Breaking ball, grounded to deep short. Boa has it, the long throw, and he got him by a stride. Good throw by Boa. 1 down in the fourth inning. That'll bring up the pitcher, Mark Lemongello. He struck out his first time up.
Good play by Larry Boa. Roger Metzger can run pretty well, and Roger Metzger's made a couple of good plays on him tonight, so that was giving 1 back right there.
Mark Lemongello, 2 hits this year and 10 at-bats. Pitched in, swings, and he misses at a fastball. 1 strike to Lemongello. Carlton's next pitch. Swing and a miss, and another fastball. He's been going right after Lemongello with heat. 0-2 to count to him. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Strike 3 called, struck him out. Lemongello is out on strike. 3rd strikeout for Carlton. That's 2 down here in the fourth, and that'll bring up Terry Poole. He has tripled and flied out. Scored a run, hit safely in 8 straight games. Pitch on the way to Poole, a drag bunt. He pops it up in the air. Buddy Harrelson, a great catch. What a great diving catch by Bud Harrelson. Harrelson had to come a full sprint and made a headlong diving grab. Fine play by Harrelson. Down go the Astros in the fourth. No runs, hits, or errors, and none left. The end of 4, it's 3-1 Houston.
Our love is strong, but we need the old song, and we feel that it's long departed. It's no disgrace, going back to the place where the fun and the chase was started. And so we laugh and go the night, share the hope tonight, like we rock and roll the king. We'll sing a song of peace, used to sing, like when you sing the song, we'll sing a song of peace.
I'm sure it's been economic, right? I went around to 3 stores to buy food, so I save $1 here, $1 there, and yet I left $200 sitting in my checking account where it doesn't earn a cent. No more. Now I use the George machine, FDR Bank, to move money from my savings to my checking account only when I need it. With George, I push the buttons and I'm the brains behind the bank. That's got to make me the smartest banker in town.
George lets you be the banker. You're our bank. We're there when you need us.
Well, the entries keep pouring in and the money keeps pouring out. And the Daily News home run payoff. On Sunday, another blast by the Bull made someone a happy $1,000 winner. This time it was Christine Erickson of Millville, New Jersey. Who knows, tonight could be your turn to win. And remember, fans, this season every hit pays off. You can win anywhere from $20 up to $5,000 big ones. Just use the entry coupon appearing every day in the Daily News to put yourself in the ball game for a home run payoff. Jake McBride leads off for the Phils. He'll be swinging for Helen Seaver of Hatboro, Pennsylvania. Jake has a bunt single and has popped up. Houston leading 3-1. We're in the fifth. Pitchers are up at Los Angeles. For Pittsburgh, John Candelarian. For the Dodgers, it'll be Don Sutton. That game at Shea been officially rained out?
Yeah, Harry. we really didn't see any announcement on the ticker on it, but they put the R up there, early tonight, and because of the bad weather in the east, I guess it's golf.
There's a pitch on the way to Bake McBride. A breaking ball is over for a strike called. 1 strike to count to Bake McBride. Batting for Helen Seaver of Hatboro in our Daily News home run payoff inning. Swing and a hard ground base hit up the middle. Bake McBride, a ground single to center field. Phillies' 5th hit off Lemon Jello, and Helen Seaver of Hatboro. You will get $20 and 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game. That'll bring on Larry Boa. Boa batting for Frank McGann of Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania. The stretch by Lemon Jello. Pitch to Boa. He drops the bunt foul. Boa's hit the ball sharply twice, but he's 0 for 2. His twice hit into fielder's choices.
Phillies get in the habit down here. It seems like they're always behind, and they kind of just stand around and nothing happens. And wouldn't be surprised to see Danny Ozark put a hit and run on just to get some infielders moving and see if Boa can't find a hole and get a 1st and 3rd situation.
Lemon Jello stretches. Pitch to Boa is low for a ball. It's 1-1. Larry batting for Frank McGann. Our Daily News home run payoff. Bake McBride at first base and nobody out. 1-1 pitch. Outside, it's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Boa. Mike Schmidt waiting on deck.
We now have the perfect hit-and-run situation. 2-1 count.
All right, let's see if they do it. Here's the stretch. They are. Bouncing ball foul down the third base side. McBride was going. Boa swinging, but he grounded the foul down the third base side. So it's 2-2 to Larry Boa. Phillies trail 3-1, 5th inning. Mark Lemongello gets his sign from Joe Ferguson. The 2-2 pitch. High for a ball, full count. Fake will probably be running here. 3-2 to Boa, nobody out. McBride at first base. Stretched by Lemongello. McBride goes. Ground ball in the hole. Base hit to right field. McBride will end up at third base, and the Phillies have runners at first and third. Frank McGann of Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania. You've just won $20 plus 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game. And that'll bring on Mike Schmidt. He'll be batting for Edward Ray of Philadelphia. Schmidt has flied out to deep left center and has struck out.
That's just what we were talking about at the beginning of this inning. The Phillies just have to do something down here. And you get McBride and Boa to move the ball around a little bit, and Larry gets that big hole to shoot for with the Astros having to hold Bake McBride on, and he didn't hit the ball all that well, but he got it through, and now the Phillies have that first, third situation you wanted.
And nobody out for Mike Schmidt. Lemongello's pitch to Schmidt. Swing and a foul ball, well out of play down the first base side. Back up into the purple level. 1 strike to count to Mike Schmidt. He's batting for Edward Ray of Philadelphia. Bake McBride at third base, Larry Boa first base, nobody out. Lemongello stretches. Here's the pitch to Schmidt. Inside for a ball. It's 1-1. Left-hander Floyd Bannister, right-hander Ken Forsch starting to throw in the Houston bullpen. Lemongello's pitch to Schmidt, swing and a pop-up in the infield. Nobody will score on this one. Art Howe is right there behind first base and puts it away. So Mike Schmidt is out on an infield pop-up. 1 down. Edward Ray of Philadelphia will get 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game. That'll bring up Greg Luzinski. He'll be batting for Patty Dawson of Philadelphia. One out, runners at the corners. Bake McBride at third, Larry Boa at first. Luzinski has walked and flied out to right field. Throw to first base, Larry Boa gets back. Lemongello's pitch to the ball, swings and he misses. 1 strike to Luzinski. Now the stretch by Lemongello, and the pitch. Strike called on the outside corner at the knees, and he quickly gets in front of Luzinski, 0-2. Stretch by Lemongello, the two-strike pitch. Strike three called. Luzinski is called out on strike on a breaking ball. Third strikeout for Lemongello, and it comes in a big spot for him. Out number 2 in the fifth, Patty Dawson of Philadelphia. You'll get 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game, and that'll bring on Rich Hebner. Hebner has struck out, walked, and scored the Phillies' lone run. Hebner batting for William Alt Sr. of Philadelphia. Fake McBride at third, Larry Bow at first, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Hebner. Swing, fly ball, center field, and Lemongello is going to get out of the inning. Cedeno squeezes it. Hebner is out, so the Phillies get first and third in the meat of their order up and fail to score. William Alt Sr. of Philadelphia will get 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game. Join us again tomorrow night when in a designated inning you could win up to $5,000 on Daily News Home Run Payoff. For the Phillies in the fifth, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the fifth. It's 3-1 Houston. Time was station wagons only came in one size, big. And if you wanted good mileage, you were out of luck. Well, Ari gives you your money's worth of room and mileage of 25 on the highway, 18 in the city. That's an EPA estimate for a wagon with 225, 1-barrel engine, and manual transmission. Your mileage may differ. It also has the high resale value you're looking for. No wonder that Ari's been the #1 selling wagon in America over the past few years. It gives you your money's worth when you buy and when you sell. See it today at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Now you can clean and wax your car in one easy step with Kip pre-softened auto paste wax. With durable hard paste wax protection and it's great for fiberglass both tubes. And now Kip's just 87 cents at all Penn Jersey auto stores. So why not give your car a new car shine with Kip pre-softened auto paste wax, just 87 cents at Penn Jersey auto stores, which is why we say, when your car's not running like it did before, make a pit stop at Penn Jersey auto stores. I used to think of the George machine at Gerard Bank as my own private money bank. If I forgot to go to the bank or needed cash on a weekend, there he was. Proceed to go and collect $200. Man, I owned that withdrawal button. You know what I mean? And then I looked at all the buttons. Wow. Checking, savings, deposits, loans, transfers, balances. I got a whole bank right here. Now I do my everyday banking with George. I push the buttons, and I run the bank.
George lets you be the banker. Gerard Bank. We're there when you need us.
Enos Cabell will lead off for Houston. Bottom of the fifth. He is singled and grounded out. He takes a pitch low for a ball. 1-0 to Cabell. Fifth inning, Houston leading 3-1. Pitch to Cabell. Fastball. Roped on one hop to Larry Boa. He has it and throws, and Cabell is out. He hit it sharply, but right at Boa. 1 down. Here's Cesar Cedeno. He is singled and scored a run. Slide out to right. Game of Montreal now in the 8th inning. Cincinnati leading Montreal 5-1. Tom Seaver pitching for the Reds. Wayne Twitchell started for Montreal. He's no longer in there. Darrell Knowles now pitching. There's a pitch to Cedeno. Breaking ball bounced foul and over the Phillies dugout. 1 strike to Cedeno. Steve Carlton's pitch on the way, fastball high for a ball. Carlton has really settled down after that shaky first inning in which the first 4 men that he faced got hit. 1-1 pitch to Cedeno, swing and a pop-up into shallow right. Bud Harrelson drifting out. The second baseman makes the catch. Cedeno is out, 2 down. That'll bring up Bob Watson. Watson has singled and walked. Phillies back home from this 4-city road trip on May 29th. Memorial Day, a night game at 8:35 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Big fireworks display that night. Game time will be 8:35, fireworks following the game. There's the pitch to Watson. He pops a foul out of play. Totally different kind of fireworks show than that which will be held on July 6th. Bucco's in also on the 30th and 31st. At 7:35. Change-up bounces up there, and it's 1-1 to Bob Watson. Ball and a strike to Watson. 2 outs and nobody on base. One pitch to him. A fastball is over for a strike call. So Carlton's in front of Watson. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch, missing outside. It's 2-2. See Carlton's 2-2 pitch, swing and a pop-up behind second base. Harrelson going out. Coming in, Maddox. Gary's there, makes the catch. 1-2-3 go the Astros in the 5th. No runs, hits, or errors, and none left. After 5, Houston leads the Phils 3-1. Now it's time for a tasty break.
Tasty cake is a day in spring, a brand new love or a golden ring. Tasty cake is the morning sun, it's all the good things wrapped up in one. Tasty cake is a deep blue sea, song that sings for you and me. Tasty cake is a world of fun, it's all the good things wrapped up in one.
It's easy to make Phillies fans feel fantastic. Just give them a Carlton strikeout, a Luzinski bull blast, or a fielding gem by Schmitty, Boa, or Maddox, and you've made their day. It's just as easy to make Tasty Cake fans feel fantastic. Give them scrumptious marshmallow sweets, or either of the other delicious fruit-flavored varieties, and you've treated Tasty Cake fans to the kind of fanfare they like best. Tasty Cake and those fabulous Phillies are all the good things wrapped up in one.
Tasty cake is a world of fun, it's all the good things wrapped up in one.
Hi, this is Larry Boa in Houston, Texas. We are right in the middle of the ball game, but I would like to remind you to join me twice daily for my shows at 7:25 a.m. and 6:35 p.m. on WWDB. Other great shows hosts include Win Moore, Dominic Quinn, Frank Ford, Don Henderson, Irv Homer, Ken James, and don't forget Sinatra with Sid Marks on every weekend, all here on WWDB.
Gary Maddox will lead off to the Phils here in the 6th. Maddox is lined out to center and is popped up to short. Mark Lemongello worked out of a big jam in the 5th. Here's his pitch to Maddox. Ground ball, base hit center field. Maddox hit the first pitch right up the middle to center for his first hit of the night, and the Phillies 7. Phillies have out-hit Houston 7-5, but Houston has bunched their hits, and the Astros lead it 3-1.
Mentioned earlier in the game, Harry, before you came in, that Mark Lemongello has a reputation of one of those guys that gives us some hits. He bends and doesn't break, and you have to give him a little credit for a couple of jams he's worked out of the night, especially last inning, the 1st and 3rd, and the Phillies 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up, and he gets them out, and he's a good little pitcher for that reason.
Here's Tim McCarver. He is flied out to center and single to knock in the Phillies' run. Throw to first base. Gary Maddox gets back. Another quick throw, and again back is Maddox. Here's a stretch by Lemongello. His pitch to McCarver. He checked his swing, but the pitch was there for a strike. Cunningham won the count to McCarver. Quick throw to first base, and Gary Maddox gets back. Nobody out. Maddox runner at first base, 6th inning. The pitch to McCarver. Swing and a base hit to center field. Maddox will stop at second base. Screaming line drive right up the middle by Tim McCarver. So the Phillies have their first 2 men on base. Nobody out. 8th hit for the Phils off Lemongello, and pitching coach Mel Wright is coming out to talk to Mark Lemongello. Floyd Bannister again is going to get up in the Houston bullpen, along with Ken Forsch. Interesting situation here. 2 men on base, nobody out. Bud Harrelson could conceivably bunt. 2 up next is Steve Carlton. Danny Ozark is not going to take Steve out of the ball game. And Steve's a pretty good hitter, so we'll see how they play it.
And Danny Ozark he's shown before that he has a lot of confidence in Steve Carlton as a hitter, and would not be at all surprised to see Bud Harrelson lay down a sacrifice bunt right here. And Harrelson is such a good bunter, Harry. Anytime he puts the ball on the ground like that, you never know. He can bunt the ball right by somebody and maybe load the bases. So it's a perfect situation for him to bunt.
Gary Maddox at second base, Tim McCarver first base, nobody out, sixth inning. And the Phillies have another threat against Lemon Jello. Trailing 3-1 here in the sixth inning. Bud Harrelson has flied out to right field, and he is singled to left. Here's the stretch, and the pitch to Harrelson. He bunts and pops it up foul. One strike to Bud Harrelson. Harrelson looking down at Bill DeMars to see if the bunt is still on. Gary Maddox at second base, Tim McCarver at first base. Good speed at second. Exceptional base running savvy at first. Here's the stretch. One strike pitch, bunted down the third base side. Lemon Jello will have to go to first. Close play, and Harrelson is just out at first base. Fine sacrifice by Bud Harrelson, who nearly beat that out. Let's pause for station identification on the Phil's Baseball Network.
Frank Stewart, weekday afternoon, 3 to 6 on the Delaware Valley's only two-day talk radio station, WWDB, Philadelphia.
So Buddy Harrelson did his job, moved Gary Maddox to third, Tim McCarver to second. With one out, it'll bring up Steve Carlton and another conference on the mound. Joe Ferguson and Roger Metzger are talking to Mark Lemongello, and Eric Craig is coming out. Says, let's go, boys, let's play ball.
It's interesting to see what Bill Verdon does with his infield here. He does have a 2-run lead in the sixth inning. It looks like they're going to play the infield back and concede the Phillies a run if Carlton hits the ball on the ground.
Or Verdon may possibly go to the bullpen. Verdon is coming out to talk to Mark Lemongello. He has a left-hander, Floyd Bannister, up, and right-hander, Ken Forsch. Lemongello has been flirting with some trouble most of the night, and Verdon is going to make a pitching change. He's going to take Lemongello out here in the sixth inning. We have a pitching change for Houston. It's Astros 3, Phillies 1, and we'll be back after this brief pause.
Phillies fans, here's a great chance to win a free one-week vacation for two. It's a grand and glorious vacation for two at the delightful oceanfront Golden Inn in Avalon, New Jersey, and there's no obligation. Just stop in, register your name for the Golden Inn sweepstakes at any of the three Colonial Federal Savings and Loan offices. In Philadelphia, 1206 Chestnut Street, in Drexel Hill at Lansdowne Avenue and State Road across from Downs, or in Havertown or Westchester Pike across from Menorah Shopping Center. Vacations like savings should be planned. See both at Colonial. We pay the highest interest allowed by law, and we compound interest daily. But there's no obligation to open an account to win the Golden Inn Vacation Sweepstakes. All you do is register your name. The Golden Inn has 2 swimming pools, a spacious poolside terrace, a luxurious dining room, music, dancing, and the most delicious food in South Jersey. Win this great vacation for two. Register today at any Colonial Federal Savings and Loan office in Havertown, in Drexel Hill, or in Philadelphia. Drawing is June 16th, member FSLIC.
Plymouth Arrow gets great mileage, 39 on the highway, 29 in the city, and has a low sticker price, $38.41, excluding taxes and destination charges, and features like reclining buckets, tinted glass, and fold-down rear seats. So when you get a Plymouth Arrow, you get your money's worth. The mileage is an EPA estimate for a manual transmission Arrow with 1.6-liter engine. Your mileage may differ. Plymouth Arrow's great mileage, price, and features give you your money's worth. See it today at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Floyd Bannister coming into pitch for Houston. Bannister is 1 none, lost 2, and earned run mark of 379. Appeared in 5 games, including 2 starts. He was washed out of 2 potential starts in Houston's last trip. Danny Ozark is going to counter with a pinch hitter for Steve Carlton. Bob Boone will bat. Boone hitting .257. He's hit 3 home runs and knocked in 15 runs. Phillies have runners at second and third. Maddox at third, McCarver at second, 1 out. Bannister stretches. Here's the pitch to Boone. Fastball. Strike called. 1 strike to Bob Boone. Houston will play their infield back. They'll concede a run. Bannister stretches. 1 strike pitch. Pop-up foul and out of play. 0-2 the count to Bob Boone. Houston leading 3-1. We're in the 6th. Ron Reed is up in the Phillies bullpen. He'll be the Phil's new pitcher. Stretch by Bannister. The two-strike pitch. Fastball popped foul out of play. Stays 0-2 to pinch hitter Bob Boone. Gary Maddox at third base. Tim McIver at second base, and one out. Bannister stretches. The two-strike pitch. Bouncing up there. A good block by Joe Ferguson. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Boone. Left-hander Floyd Bannister. Stretches. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a hard ground ball, just foul down the left field line. Sharply hit, but just barely foul. Boone stays alive to count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Phillies trail by 2, 6th inning. Maddox at third, McIver at second. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a pop-up foul. He hit an off-speed pitch and just fouled it back behind the screen. Remains 1-2 to Booney. Stretch by Bannister. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a line drive. Speared by Cabell. Cannot double up Maddox. Booney hit a C, but caught by Enos Cabell. Maddox quickly back. Cabell could not double him up. Bob Boone hit a rope, but right at Enos Cabell for out number 2. And that'll bring on Bake McBride, who's 2 out of 3. His singles popped up in singles. Left-hander against left-hander, Bannister and McBride. The pitch to Bake. Fastball over for a strike call. 1 strike to McBride.
Gary Maddox made a heck of a play on that ball to get back there and not get doubled up. And Enos Cabell, just an outstanding catch at third base on that line drive.
1 strike pitch. Swing and a line drive to left, but Poole is there and makes the catch. 2 line drives off the bats of Boone and McBride, but caught by the Astros fielders. And again, the Phillies' threat goes for naught. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the bottom half of the 6th. It's 3-1 Houston. Great in any year. MAB paints. When you paint, get the paint that lasts longer. MAB. It gives you more years per gallon. And great in 78 is what people will be saying about the Phillies. MAB has Phillies Great in 78 bumper stickers. And you could win 2 tickets to a Phillies game if one of the MAB spotters sees the Phillies bumper sticker on your car. To get your free Phillies bumper sticker, visit the nearest MAB paint store, dealer, or Rich Luck's home center in your neighborhood.
Well, I remember way back in 52, and those magic moments with Mary Lou, hanging out at the drive-in in my 57 Ford PA.
Hey, Rocky, I bet my Ford's better than your Ford. Oh, yeah? What do you got in that thing? Yeah, well, I got a new set of Champion Plus. Oh, well. Hey, listen, man, I just remembered I got to get my ducktail trimmed right Tuesday. Hey, Rocky, I bet my Pinto gets better mileage than your Pinto. Yeah? Tell me, what do you got in that thing? Yeah, well, I got a new set of Champion Plus. Oh, wow. Hey, I got a split. I just remembered I got to get a hair transplant, all right? Hey, time's changed.
You can't buy a better plug for any kind of car than Champion. You can't buy a better plug no matter where you are than Champion. Champion #1 in the world. #1 in your car.
Bob Boone stays in the game to catch. He'll bat on the 9th spot, and the new pitcher is Ron Reed. He will bat on the 7th spot. Reed appearing in his 12th game, no wins, no losses, 2 saves, an earned run mark of 169, and Art Howe is the first one to face him. Here's the pitch to Howe. Low for a ball. Howe is 1 for 1. He's hit a sacrifice fly to knock in a run and is singled. Here's Reed's 1-0 pitch. Outside, ball 2. It's 2-0. Two and 0 to count to Art Howe. The 2-0 pitch.
Low and away, ball 3. It's 3-0. Houston leading 3-1, bottom half of the 6th inning. Wind up by Reed. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Over for a strike called. 3-1 to Art Howe. Reed's 3-1 pitch. Swinging a foul ball down the first base side, well out of play. Full count to Art Howe.
Floyd Bannister, after throwing those 2 ropes last inning, went down and warmed up some more.
Well, he got out of the inning, but he got out of it on a couple of line drives that were caught. 3-2 pitch. Low, ball 4. He walked it. So Howe is a base runner with nobody out. That'll bring up Jose Cruz. He has walked and struck out. Art Howe at first base, nobody out. There's Reed's stretch. And the pitch to Cruz, low for ball 1. 1-0 to count. Houston leads 3-1. We're playing in the bottom half of the 6th inning. There's Reed's stretch. 1-0 pitch. Over for a strike called. It's 1-1. Yankees way out in front of the Chicago White Sox tonight, 7-1. California's gone ahead of Toronto 4-3 in the 8th at Toronto. Reed stretches. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a well-hit ball to deep right center field. McBride way back. Can't get it. It's off the fence. Howe will score, and Cruz heading for third, and he's there with a triple. Houston leads it 4-1. Cruz a triple to deep right center field, and that'll bring up Joe Ferguson, who was walked and flied out to right. Phillies play their infield in with Cruz at third, nobody out. Houston now leading 4-1. Pitch to Ferguson is low for a ball. One-0 pitch to Ferguson, high and inside, ball 2. It's 2-0. Houston up by a count of 4-1 here in the 6th. Cruz at third, nobody out. Ferguson takes low, ball 3. It's 3-0. Game of Montreal is history. Cincinnati 5-1 over the Expos behind Tom Seaver, who won his second. Here's the pitch. Swing. He had the light and he fouled one off catcher Bob Boone. 3-1. There's a stretch by Reed. 3-1 pitch. Missing low. Ball 4. He walked it. Second walk in the inning given up by Reed. No in the inning given up by Reed. Nobody out. Houston runners first and third. That'll bring up Roger Metzger. Metzger is grounded into a double play and grounded out. Reed ready. Here's a stretch and a throw to first base, and Ferguson gets back in plenty of time. Phillies keep the infield in. Here's the pitch to Metzger. Fastball for a strike called. 1 strike to Roger Metzger.
Phillies just don't score many runs in this ballpark. It's proved again tonight, and they have to keep the infield in here to try and prevent another run from scoring.
Pitch to Metzger. He punches a base hit to left field. Cruz scores, stopping at second base Ferguson. And Houston now leads it 5-1. Metzger drives in his 6th run of the year.
That'll bring up the pitcher, Floyd Bannister. So a 5-1 ball game. Houston leading, bottom of the sixth, still nobody out. Bannister's been at bat 4 times this year without a hit, but he'll be up there bunting the runners. They're trying to move him up. They have the rotation play on, and he takes the pitch low for a ball. Paul covering third, Schmidt charging in. Rotation play was on, but Bannister took the pitch. In that game of Montreal, Cincinnati won 5-1. Tom Seaver, the winning pitcher, struck out 13. That's high in the National League this year. 13 strikeouts. Joe Morgan hit a 3-run home run. 1-0 to Bannister. Reed stretches, rotation play on again, but he drops it down the first base side, and only one play. Hebner to Bud Harrelson. To get Bannister, the play went Richie Hebner to Bud Harrelson. The runners move up, Ferguson to third, and Metzger to second. That'll bring up Terry Poole. Poole has tripled, flied out, and popped up. Going to put Terry Poole on intentionally to try to set up a double play possibility. It'll be the third walk in the inning issued by Ron Reed. This will load the bases with 1 out. Now pitch to Enos Cabell. Cabell has good speed, a tough man to double up. Enos has been 1 for 3 tonight, has singled and twice grounded out. So Houston has the bases loaded, 1 down. And Enos Cabell will bat. Houston leading 5-1, bottom of the sixth. Ron Reed in a lot of trouble here in the sixth inning. Here's his pitch to Cabell. Swings and he misses. Chase the low pitch. 1 strike to Cabell. Joe Ferguson at third. At second base, Roger Metzger. Terry Poole at first, and 1 out. Reed from the stretch. 1 strike pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2 to Cabell. Enos Cabell steps back in. Reed gets his sign from Bob Boone. There's the 2-strike pitch. Slider low and away. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Houston has 2 across in the sixth. Bases loaded, 1 out. Stretch by Reed, 1-2 pitch, swing and a looping foul down the right field side. Now to play. It stays 1-2 to Cabell. Joe Ferguson at third, Roger Metzger at second, Terry Poole at first. Here's the 1-2 pitch, swing and a pop foul out of play. Cabell stays alive. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes to him.
Reed had a lot of success with Cabell early in the count by going away from him, especially with sliders. And the last 2 pitches, he's kind of come in on Cabell, and he might just try and punch him out with something away right now.
Here's Rod's stretch. 1-2 pitch. Slider away. Struck him out. And he missed the ball by a foot. It was way low and outside, and Cabell chased it. First strikeout for Reed. 2 down in the sixth. That'll bring on Cesar Cedeno. Cedeno has singled, slide out to right, and popped up. Very prophetic wheels. He really chased a bad pitch.
It's easy up here, you know.
2 outs, bases jammed. stretch by Reed, and the pitch to Cedeno is a change high and inside for a ball. One nothing to Cedeno. Here's a stretch by Reed. His pitch, slider outside. It's 2-0. Got Cabell to chase the outside slider, but not Cedeno. So Reed, with the bases loaded, 2 outs, will almost have to challenge Cedeno here. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a ground ball, foul down the third base side. 2-1 to Cesar Cedeno. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Reed ready. Here's his stretch. 2-1 pitch. Fastball inside, and it's 3-1 to Cedeno. No room on base for him. They're loaded with 2 outs. Stretched by Reed, the 3-1 pitch. Swinging a hard ground ball, but Mike Schmidt has it. Throws to Harrelson for the force at second base, and Reed gets out of the inning. Houston scored in the inning, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left. And after 6, it's 5-1 Houston.
I just saved myself a trip to the bank and a trip to the post office. I've got this new thing going with George Bank by phone from Girard Bank. Just paid a month's worth of bills, did a whole pile of banking. I even gave myself a loan. Oh, sure. A few other banks have pay by phone, but Girard lets me pay and bank by phone. You know, it's almost like having a Girard Bank right here in my kitchen.
Ask for a demonstration of George Bank by phone at any Girard Bank office.
Smaller cars rev higher than big cars. They also run hotter. This extra heat and friction can break down the viscosity of ordinary oil, so smaller cars need an oil that's better than ordinary, an oil that doesn't break down. They need Castrol, the oil engineered for smaller cars. And Castrol's available at low Penn Jersey prices, which is why they say...
When your car's not running like it did before, make a pit stop at Penn Jersey Auto Store.
Well, the Phillies are back home from this road trip on the 29th. The Pittsburgh Pirates will be the first club in. The 29th at 8:35, 30th and 31st at 7:35. On Monday night, Memorial Day night, big fireworks display after the game against the Buccos. A totally different fireworks display than that which you'll see on July 6th. Following Pittsburgh will be the Los Angeles Dodgers, Friday, June 2nd at 8:30. And remember that Saturday game, which was originally scheduled as a night game on June 3rd, has been changed to a day game at 2:15, and then Sunday afternoon at 1:35. And that Sunday afternoon will be wristband day. Free Phillies wristbands for all youngsters 14 or under on Sunday, June 4th against the Dodgers. They'll be followed in by San Francisco and Atlanta. Larry Boa leads off. He takes a pitch low for a ball from Floyd Bannister. 1-0 to count to Boa. Boa is 1 for 3. There's a pitch to Boa. Low again, ball 2. Bannister has been wild. In 18 innings, he's walked 18, struck out 11. Phillies trail 5-1. We're in the 7th. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Boa. On the inside corner for a called strike. It's 2-1.
The Astros like to refer to Floyd Bannister as their designated rainout pitcher. It seems like every time they have him scheduled to pitch, their game gets rained out.
2-1 pitch. Boa pops a foul out of play, and it's 2-2 to Larry Boa. Astros had 5 rainouts on their last trip. Bannister's 2-2 pitch, swinging a foul ball back to the screen. It stays 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Boa, swinging a ground ball foul down the third base side. Stays 2-2 to Larry Boa. Tug McGraw is throwing in the Phillies bullpen. Wind up in the 2-2 pitch to Bo. Another foul ball. Stays 2-2. Here's Bannister's 2-2 pitch. Swing and a drive into deep right center field. Cruz running back and makes the catch. Oh, he hit it well to the opposite field, but caught by Jose Cruz in deep right center. One down. That'll bring up Mike Schmidt. Schmidt has slide out to deep left, struck out, and popped up. One down, 7th inning. Lloyd Bannister gets a sign from Joe Ferguson. Here's the pitch to Schmidt. Fastball, late swing and a miss. Bannister will be 23 on June 10th. Comes out of Arizona State. Here's the pitch to Schmidt, a fastball inside, and it's 1-1. This is the Astros' first-round draft pick in the June 1976 draft. One pitch to Schmidt, fastball high and inside. It's 2-1. Two balls and a strike to Mike Schmidt. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a foul straight back. It's 2-2. Bannister at this point just throwing fastballs. Houston leading 5-1. We're in the 7th. Bannister gets his sign from Ferguson. Schmidt calls time and steps out. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Inside with a breaking ball. Full count to Schmidt. Greg Luzinski waiting on deck with one out here in the 7th inning. Wind up by Bannister. 3-2 pitch. Fastball almost hit him. Ball 4. He walked him. So Schmidt is a base runner with one out. That'll bring up Greg Luzinski, who has walked, slide out to right, and was called out on strikes. Mike Schmidt, runner at first base, one down, 7th inning. The pitch to Luzinski is high and inside for a ball. Stretch by Bannister. 1-0 pitch. Swing. He chased the high fastball and he missed it. Ball on the strike to Luzinski. Here's Bannister's stretch. 1-1 pitch. Curveball is high. Ball 2. 2-1. Mike Schmidt first base. One out, 7th inning. Houston leading. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. 2-2 the count to Luzinski. Phillies have had base runners in this game in every inning but the second, but have scored only one. 2-2 pitch. Play with the foul ball. A check swing that hit Greg's bat and fouled out of the glove of Ferguson. Stays 2-2. Mike Schmidt at first, one out. Bannister stretches, the 2-2 pitch, swing and a pop foul, back up over the screen and out of play. So it remains 2-2 to the ball. Stretch by Bannister, steps off the rubber. Here's the 2-2 pitch, curveball inside, full count. 3-2 to Luzinski. Ken Forsch gets off his jacket in the Houston dugout, and he'll start warming up. 3-2 pitch, swing, and a foul tip. He struck him out. Luzinski goes down swinging. First strikeout for Bannister. That's 2 down in the 7th, and it'll bring up Rich Hebner. Hebner is struck out, walked, and flied out to center field. Two outs, Mike Schmidt at first base. Let's pause here for station identification on the Phillies Baseball Network.
Talk to Irv Homer after the game on the Delaware Valley's only two-way talk radio station, WWDB, Philadelphia.
First pitch to Richie Hebner is high for a ball. 1-0 pitch to Hebner. He swings and fouls it off the hand of Joe Ferguson. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jim Ewell, Houston trainer, coming out to look at Ferguson. Following the strike to count to Hebner. Schmidt runner at first base and 2 outs. Ferguson's all right. He'll stay in there. One the count to Rich Hebner. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss at a good fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hebner. Bannister's 1-2 pitch. Schmidt is running, but it doesn't matter. A swing and a miss. He struck him out. 2 straight strikeouts for Bannister. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 5-1 to Houston.
It's time to let it go. It's the last It was a bird. And for the king of men, and settle back and be yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of blood is like an easy chair when you did
Let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. When you work hard, you ought to relax. Easy. That's what Budweiser's all about.
When you did
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis. The cat is really on the prowl at your Lincoln Mercury dealers. He wants these dealers to sell every Mercury in stock. Every one. That includes the anniversary edition 4-door Mercury Marquis with its traditional full-size luxury and comfort, plus a special value package featuring a vinyl roof, luxury wheel covers, body side moldings, flight bench seat, and more. Right now, this special package is being offered by Lincoln Mercury to its dealers at a factory discount. So check out your local Lincoln Mercury dealer now. At the sign of the cat.
Well, we move to the bottom half of the 7th inning. It's 5-1 Houston, and for more play-by-play, here again is Andy Musser.
Right, Harry. Astros leading this ball game by a 5-1 score. And they're about set to go to the plate, except that Ron Reed, the Phillies pitcher, was in the dugout all this time, and he's just now coming out. Well, the Astros sent 8 men to the plate in the 6th inning when they scored 2 times. They wound up leaving the bases loaded. They have stranded 7 runners in this ball game, but when you talk about stranding runners, that has been the Phillies' problem. The Phillies have left men on base in every single inning except the 2nd when they didn't get anybody on. And let's total them up here. It looks like 10 left on base right now. 10 left on base through 7 innings for the Phillies tonight in this ball game as they trail at 5-1. The paid crowd here at the Astrodome tonight, 11,381, about 2,000 more than last night, 11,381. So Ron Reed, who is working in relief of starter Steve Carlton, taking his warm-up tosses before working to Bob Watson, Art Howe, and Jose Cruz, all of whom will bat here in this 7th inning. Well, one of the fastest growing and most popular sports in the area is racquetball, and one of the best facilities to play the sport is Bob Boone's Action Courts, located in Maple Shade, New Jersey. Bob has 10 regulation courts, instructors, a complete pro shop, and a professionally staffed nursery. For more information, call area 609-234-1333. Here's Bob Watson, right-handed batter. Wind up in the pitch by Reed. Check swing, but it's a ball. First base umpire, Billy Williams, refused to agree that Watson had swung at that pitch. So it's ball 1 to Watson. He is 1 for 2 tonight with a walk and an RBI. Here's a changeup by Reed and swinging a foul ball right at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 1 the count to Bob Watson. Here's a ball drilled to center field. Maddox turns back. He can't get it. It's over his head. And one hops up against the wall. And on his way into second base goes Watson. That ball was drilled on the line over Maddox's head. One hopping to the fence and straightaway center, 406 feet from the plate. And a stand-up double for Bob Watson. Now the hits are all even. That's number 8 for the Astros. The Phillies already have 8 hits. Here's Art Howe, officially 1 for 1. Dave Bergman is going into the ball game to run at second base for Watson. Dave Bergman, a rookie first baseman, will probably stay in the ball game and play at first base. Art Howe, the batter. Pitch to the right-handed batter. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Howe has driven in a run on a sacrifice fly, singled, walked, and scored. The pitch to him is low inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cincinnati won its game over Montreal 5-1 with Seaver besting Twitchell. Rain at Shea Stadium, and the Braves and the Mets did not play tonight. Later National League games, Pittsburgh at Los Angeles, St. Louis at San Diego, and Chicago at San Francisco. Stretching the pitch by Reed, fouled away by Al. 1-2 the count. Well, we're delighted that WWDB-FM was able to carry our ball game tonight. And a reminder that we'll be back on our regular flagship station in Philadelphia tomorrow, KYW, and of course, all the rest of you good stations on the Phillies radio network. The pitch to Howe is grounded at foul at the plate. Count holds at 1-2. Looks like Kenny Holtzman might win a ball game tonight. The Yankees leading Chicago 8-3 there in the 7th inning. Stretching the pitch to Howe. Fly ball, very shallow left field. Boa back after it. Larry makes the catch. Howe pops up to Boa, shallow left field. That's the first out of the inning. Bergman holding at second base. And here is Jose Cruz. He had a big hit in this ball game. An RBI triple in the 6th when the Astros added 2 insurance runs. Left-handed batting, Jose Cruz. Cruz tonight 1 for 2. He has also walked. First pitch to him is a changeup outside, ball 1. The second game of a 4-game series, and tomorrow night, Randy Lurch will work against right-hander Joaquim Andujar. Inside the Cruz, 2 balls and no strikes. Andujar has won 2 and lost 2. He has a 2.12 earned run average. Here's Reed's 2-0 delivery, and it's a pop-up on the changeup into shallow left field. Third baseman Schmidt, shortstop Boa back. Larry Boa catches the ball in foul ground. Cruz fouls out to Boa for the second out of the inning, and Larry ran a long way to make that catch. That's 2 away with Bergman staying at second, and here's Joe Ferguson. everybody in the Astro lineup has been on base one way or another tonight. Ferguson has walked twice. He officially is 0 for 1. Right-handed batting catcher with power. 2 down in the 7th inning. Reed takes a look at Bergman at second, and here's the pitch. Low ball 1. Reed has the sign from Boone. Here's his pitch. It's over at the knees, a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike.
You're wondering why I'm not saying anything. I'm having a little trouble with my tacos we had for lunch today.
That's right, we did dine together today. Want to thank you for that. Here's the 1-1 pitch. You broke a long-standing personal policy and reached in your pocket. And I figured that I probably ought to say thank you, but I figured I'd wait till you brought it up because I knew you would. You're welcome. Thank you, Chris. Could have taken me to a better place. Here's the 2-1 pitch. In for a strike call. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think you were right in your own domain.
Yeah, I do love Mexican food, no doubt about it. 2-2, the count to Ferguson. Reed stretches, here's the pitch. Outside and low, we've got a full count. Well, Phillies pitchers have walked 6 Astros in this ball game to go along with the 8 hits they have had. And, of course, that has kept the Astros in an almost continual offensive threat. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It's a ground ball left side of the infield. Bolas got it. His throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. For the Astros in the 7th, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. At the end of 7, Houston leads it 5-1. Now time for a tasty break.
People are proud to call Philadelphia home because we've got a superstar baseball team like the Phillies. And we've also got a superstar cake called Tasty Cake, like fresh-baked Tasty Cake coffee cake and cream-filled coffee cake. Bring home Tasty Cake coffee cake 1 package at a time or buy the family pack full. And treat yourself to all the good things wrapped up in one.
Tasty Cake is a world of fun. All the things wrapped up in one.
Plymouth Arrow gets great mileage, 39 on the highway, 29 in the city, and has a low sticker price, $38.41, excluding taxes and destination charges, and features like reclining buckets, tinted glass, and fold-down rear seats. So when you get a Plymouth Arrow, you get your money's worth. The mileage is an EPA estimate for a manual transmission Arrow with 1.6-liter engine. Your mileage may differ. Plymouth Arrow's great mileage, price, and features give you your money's worth. See it today at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
2 great Phillies publications on sale at the ballpark or through the mail. Phillies Yearbook, brand new, one of the best ever, loaded with color pictures of the players and their families. Plus lots of interesting reading on sale at the vet for $2, through the mail $2.50. Also, Baseball the Phillies Way, a fully illustrated book on how to play the game, plus 27 full-color baseball cards of Phillies players on sale at the vet for $1.50, through the mail $2. For both publications, send a check or money order to Phillies Publications, P.O. Box 7575, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19101. Get your copies right away. Dave Bergman, who came in to pinch run for Watson, will stay in the game and play at first base as we go to the last half, or the top half of the 8th inning. And Gary Maddox will start it for the Phillies. Gary is 1 for 3. Maddox singled his last time up. Gary Martin out in the on-deck circle to bat for Reed. Swing and a miss by Maddox, strike 1. Left-hander Floyd Bannister has not yet given up a hit. Well, Barry Fadden, formerly of Philadelphia, who has just recently moved to Houston, says hello to all his relatives and friends back in Philadelphia. 1 strike pitch on the way to Maddox. A curveball misses. 1-1 the count to Maddox. Bannister winds, here's the pitch. 1 hopper, Metzger gloves behind second, throw to first in time. What a split Bergman did at first to grab that throw by Metzger, who was firing off balance. And that was a terrific Houston fielding play on both ends.
Phillies are going to argue on that play, Andy, that Bergman didn't have his foot in contact with first base. And here comes the replay that we're able to watch on television. And I don't know. It looks like he probably had his toe on the bag. Phillies are frustrated right now, and every little close play they're kind of reacting, and There's something about this ballpark that really brings out the worst in the club. Oh, no.
Somebody has been thrown out. I was looking away for the moment. It's either Maddox or Tony Taylor, more likely Maddox. Here comes manager Danny Ozark to intervene. The argument is taking place way down the right field line beyond first base. And I'm pretty sure that Maddox has been tossed.
It looked like Billy Williams ran somebody, and I can't believe that because Bob Boone got thrown out last time for the first time in his career, and I can't believe Gary Maddox would have ever gotten thrown out of a game before because he's very, very mild-mannered. And I don't know whether Williams was telling him to get out of there or whether he thumbed him. The way Danny's talking to him, it looks like he thumbed him. And this crew right here probably has as quick a bunch of triggers as you're going to see in the National League. 3 out of the 4. Eric Gregg is the only one with much common sense, really.
Phillies are going to have to get used to it because this same umpiring crew is going to follow the Phillies to New York, so they'll be seeing plenty of them.
That's great.
That good news? I thought you'd like that. I was saving that for the appropriate moment to tell you.
Well, I don't get on umpires. I really don't because they have a tough job, but
Tony Taylor has been tossed out of the ball game.
No, it's Tony. I can't believe that Gary Maddox would have gotten thrown out. And Tony, what does he ever do?
So Tony has been ejected from the ball game. It was first base coach Tony Taylor, so we'll assume that Maddox has not been ejected. It's unlikely that he would throw both out. And Danny Ozark is going to coach first base. Danny was out there arguing the play, so he'll just stay out there and coach at first base.
He'll probably keep talking to Billy Williams while he's out there.
Jerry Martin is the pinch hitter for the Phillies. Jerry batting at .210, 1 home run, 8 runs batted in. Martin is up there swinging for Ron Reed. Here's Martin, right-handed batter with 1 out, nobody on base. Floyd Bannister into the windup, and the pitch to Jerry is low, ball 1. Billy DeMar is coaching at third. Danny Ozark at first. Haven't seen Danny out there since I've been on this job. Wind up in the pitch by Bannister. It's on the inside corner, a strike with his fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch on the way to Martin. It's a hard hit ball into deep left field. Poole is going back. He's on the warning track. He can't get it. That ball 1 hops up against the wall, and Martin will hold on at second base with a double. Poole got back, had the glove out, but the ball did not fall in. And that'll be a double for Jerry Martin.
Well, Terry Poole kind of played the circle route on that ball. He did not get a good dump on it, and then he kind of looped going back. And Jerry hit it a long way, and that's a home run in a lot of other parts.
That is the first hit off Bannister, and that will get the Astro bullpen back into business. Left-hander Joe Sambito is getting up. Right-hander Kenny Force also getting up. San Diego Padres have scored 4 runs. They lead the Cardinals 4-0 in the second inning. The Cardinals had disastrous coast trips last year, and it looks like they're in the process of doing it again. They've lost 5 straight. The first pitch to Harrelson is low inside, ball 1. Houston leads this one 5-1. Phillies batting in the 8th inning. They have had their chances tonight, but they have been stranding runners. Stretch in the pitch by Bannister, a called strike. Left-hander Tug McGraw is throwing for the Phillies. They will need a new pitcher next inning as the Phillies pinch hit for Reed. And the 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1, a fastball missing. Harrelson 1 for 2 tonight with a sacrifice. Buddy up there batting right-handed for the first time tonight. Here's the pitch to him. Swing and a miss. He got jammed. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Bud Harrelson. Buddy has started the last 4 Phillies games. 2 at shortstop, 2 at second base. Stretching the 2-2 pitch to Harrelson. He fouls it back. Tomorrow night, Lurch against Andujar, and then on Thursday, when this series concludes, knuckleballing Joe Niekro will pitch for Houston, and Larry Christensen will go for the Phillies. Jim Cott, who had been listed for that ball game, will open the Mets series at Chase Stadium on Friday night. A 2-2 count on Bud Harrelson, batting with 1 on and 1 out for the Phillies in the 8th inning. Here's the pitch from Bannister. Swing and a drive into left center field. They weren't playing him too deep. Cedeno racing over there, and he catches it for the out. Harrelson flies out to rather deep left center field. Second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Bob Boone, batting out of the number 9 spot. Booney getting his second at bat. The first time up, he was batting with the runners at second and third. He had a wicked line drive caught by third baseman Cabell, who tried to double Maddox off the bag. Gary got back just in time. Boone batting .254. A fastball is high, ball one. Houston 5, Phillies 1. This is the Phillies' 8th inning. The 22-year-old left-hander stretches and a curveball misses high. 2-0. Tug McGraw has completed his warm-ups, and he will pitch the 8th inning for the Phillies. Martin at second with 2 outs. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Boone. It's low and inside, ball 3. Starter Mark Lemongello walked 2. Bannister has walked 1 so far. 3-0 pitch on the way to Boone. Fastball misses high, ball 4, and Booney's aboard. Runners at first and second, 2 down. Bake McBride, the hitter. Bake 2 out of 4. Bunt single and line single. Pitch is outside a ball. One and nothing the count to left-handed batting Bake McBride. Here's Bannister's next pitch. It's a fastball right at the letters, a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bake McBride, who carries a .346 lifetime average against Houston pitching. 2 relievers still warming in the Astro bullpen. Left-hander Sambito, right-hander Porsche. Pitch on the way to McBride. Swing and a miss. Curveball. 1-2 the count on Bake. Phillies scored a single run in the 4th inning. They did that when Hebner was walked, went to second on a pass ball, and was driven home on a single by Tim McCarver, who has since been taken out of the ballgame. The 1-2 pitch to Bake is way outside. 2-2. Chicago Cubs failed to score in the first inning at San Francisco. Giants now batting. Stretching the pitch to McBride. Swing and a miss. He strikes out at a curveball. Bake getting a late swing at that pitch. Phillies in the 8th. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 left. At the end of 7.5, Houston leads 5-1.
When you paint this year, select the paint that lasts longer. MAB Seashore House Paint. It gives you more years per gallon. In fact, it's the best paint you can buy. That's because MAB Seashore House Paint was especially designed for the harsh, rugged weather conditions on the shore, like wind, rain, sun, and especially salt air. So when it comes to painting your home, inside or out, think of MAB in the more than 300 MAB paint stores, dealers, and Rich Lux Home Centers. Bank AmeriCard and Master Charge accepted.
I'm a PhD in economics, right? I went around to 3 stores to buy food, so I save $1 here, $1 there. And yet I let $200 sit in my checking account where it doesn't earn a cent. No more. Now I use the George machine after our bank to move money from my savings to my checking account only when I need it. With George, I push the buttons and I'm the brains behind the bank. That's got to make me the smartest banker in town.
George lets you be the banker. Gerard Bank. We're there when you need us.
Looking back, we realize we've changed in so many ways. We may never touch the way we were then, but the warm, loving feeling that comes back again when we sit and recall all the good times. Cocaine line.
New Phillies pitcher is Tug McGraw. He will bat out of the number 1 spot in the order as Jerry Martin remains in the game and plays in right field. And Tug takes over the spot vacated by Bake McBride. Roger Metzger will lead it off for the Astros. The Astros have pinch hitter Jesus Alou ready to bat for Floyd Bannister. So the Phillies will be seeing a new pitcher when they come up in the 9th. Tug's first pitch is inside, ball one. Tug is appearing in his 11th ball game. He is 1-1 with a 1.38 earned run average. Here's the left-hander's next pitch. It's a curveball in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Metzger, who is 1 for 3 tonight. He has singled in a run. He has also grounded into a double play. The pitch to him is checked toward the mound, fielded by McGraw. He slips, fires to first, got it there in time. Tug slipped and almost fell, and then it did fall down as he made the throw, but he rifled that shot to first base, and he fired out Metzger on that swinging bunt that was just to the third base side of the plate. Jesus Alou is coming up as a pinch hitter. Alou has 4 hits and 10 times up. The veteran right-handed batter rejoining the Astros this year. He was last in the majors back in 1975. That was with the Mets. He was released in spring training the following year. Jesus Alou has a .279 lifetime batting average. Right-handed batter, and the pitch to him, a curveball. This is high, ball one. Tug winds, and a curveball is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Alou now 36 years of age from the Dominican Republic. This is his 13th year in the big league. Swing and a ground ball shot toward third. Schmidt has it. Throw across in time. Alou is retired. That's the second out of the inning. And the hitter will be Terry Poole. Poole, a left-handed batter. Tonight he is 1 for 3 with a walk. His one hit was a triple he scored in the first inning. Swing and a foul tip, strike one. Astros ahead 5-1 in this ball game. Here's a curveball drilled deep into right field. Way back it is. Out of here. A home run for Terry Poole. Terry Poole, not considered a long ball threat, but that's his second home run of the year, and he really drilled that ball to right field. Home run for Terry Poole, and the Astros lead it 6-1.
I don't want to belabor a point, but there's 2 umpires at first and second base, and neither one of them moved. And that ball hit above that line out there, and that's a call where you should have an umpire out in the outfield and circle that it's a home run, and that's one of the reasons why Andy's call was a little bit hesitant on the thing, because none of them mentioned it. None of them went out and gave the circle over the head. They just stood there like a couple of statues, and a couple of Phillies players looked at them like, well, why don't you go out and at least make the call and get in the game a little bit?
That's right, because the ball did bound back into play, and the Phillies fielded the ball and returned it.
Yeah, they both just stood there.
Finally, the second base umpire, Cello, did make the circle time, but it was awfully late. You're right.
Yeah, because Terry Poole stopped at second base like he wasn't even sure. I mean, that's their job, to go out there, say it's a home run at least, and they didn't even move.
Here's Enos Cabell. He's 1 for 4 with a run driven in. Breaking ball is high, ball one. 2 outs in the inning, and the Astros now with a 5-run lead. Here's a little broken back chop towards second base, caught on the fly by Harrelson, and the inning is over. But the Astros get a run on the homer by Poole. 1 hit, nobody left on base. At the end of 8, Houston leads it 6-1.
There's a demanding cat around. He's at your Lincoln Mercury dealers, and he wants these dealers to sell every Mercury in stock. Every one. That means you have a great chance to get into any one of his fine cars right now. From the full-size Mercury Marquis, right through his Cougars, Zephyrs, Monarchs, and Bobcats. They're all up for grabs. Right now. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer quick, because that cat means business. At the sign of the cat.
Great in any year. MAB paint. When you paint, get the paint that lasts longer. MAB. It gives you more years per gallon. And great in 78 is what people will be saying about the Phillies. MAB has Phillies Great in 78 bumper stickers. And you could win 2 tickets to a Phillies game if one of the MAB spotters sees the Phillies bumper sticker on your car. To get your free Phillies bumper sticker, visit the nearest MAB paint store, dealer, or Rich Luck's home center in your neighborhood.
Only at Acme Super Saver can you get famous Lancaster brand meat. The meat you buy with confidence and serve with pride. Over the years, Lancaster brand has earned a well-deserved reputation for consistent quality and fine taste. This week, get a Lancaster Home center in your neighborhood. Only at Acme Super Saver can you get famous Lancaster brand meat. The meat you buy with confidence and serve with pride. Over the years, Lancaster brand has earned a well-deserved reputation for consistent quality and fine taste. This week, get a Lancaster brand sirloin steak, full cut, no tenderloin removed, for just $1.59 a pound. Lancaster brand, sold only at Acme Super Saver.
At Acme Super Saver, serving you is our policy and my pleasure.
Let's pause here for station identification. This is the Phillies Baseball Network.
John Henderson on Sports Talk, evening 6 to 8 p.m. on WWDB, the Delaware Valley's only two-way talk radio station.
Joe Sambito, left-hander Joe Sambito, the new pitcher for the Astros. He is 2-0 this year with a brilliant 1.29 earned run average. Left-hander winds. Here's his first pitch on the way to Boa, and a breaking ball is over for a strike. We are now working with three umpires. Second base umpire Dick Stello has left the field. We don't know why. Coaching at first base for the Phillies, Bobby Wine. Here's a breaking ball, and Boa reaches way across the plate to foul it off. 0-2 the count on Boa. Larry is 1 for 4 tonight. He singled in the fifth inning. Tony Taylor ejected from this ball game. Here's the 0-2 to Boa. Hard hit ball to shortstop. Metzger lets it get away. It goes behind him, and he doesn't even make a throw as Boa legs that out. And that will probably be an error on Metzger. Error Metzger. Second error of the ball game for the Astros. So their double play combination has committed errors in this ball game. Howe made one earlier. The Dodgers got 3 in the first to lead the Pirates 3-0 at the end of one. The Candy Man against Don Sutton. Here's Mike Schmidt with the Astros leading at 6-1. Sambito at the belt. Here's his pitch. Schmidt bluffs the bunt. It's a strike. Schmidt is 0 for 3 tonight. He walked his last time up. Left-hander checks the runner. Here's his pitch to Schmidt. Fouls it back to the screen. 0-2 the count on Schmidt. Sambito from Brooklyn, New York, is 25 years of age. This is his second year of big league pitching. A year ago, he led the Astros in appearances with 54. He was 5-5 last year and a 2.33 earned run average. Stretch in the 0-2 pitch to Schmidt. A fastball is high. Bannister worked 2 1/3 innings of relief behind Lemongello, giving up 1 hit and no runs. He walked 2 and struck out 3. He checks Boa. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Schmidt goes down on strikes. That's the first out of the inning. Here's the ball. He is 0 for 3 tonight with a walk. He has struck out his last 2 times up. Boa at first. 1 out of the inning. The Astros lead at 6-1. The Astros have had some power lately. They have had home runs in 10 of their last 12 ball games. Pitch to the ball is fouled back. They have homered in each of the 4 games against the Phillies this year. Tonight's homer by Terry Poole. Last night's ball game, Bob Watson had a 2-run shot. One strike on Greg Luzinski. Sambito at the belt. Here's his pitch. It misses low. Now it looks like Eric Gregg is warning somebody in the Phillies dugout to pipe down. Or is he instructing someone to get into the on-deck circle? I believe that's it. The on-deck circle was unoccupied. Pitch is outside a ball. And it is Jose Cardinal coming out as a pinch hitter for Hebner. That's why the circle was unoccupied. 2 balls and a strike to count on Luzinski. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled back as Sambito dropped down that time and came almost sidearm. Two balls and 2 strikes on the ball. Greg has been on base tonight, a walk in the first inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's way outside, and we've got a full count. Joe Sambito, third Houston pitcher of the ball game. Lemongello, the starter, who went 5 1/3 innings, is the pitcher of record. Here's the payoff pitch to the ball, and it's high, ball 4. Greg on for the second time. Runners at first and second with 1 out, and Jose Cardinal will come to the plate as a pinch hitter for Richie Hebner. Cardinal appearing in his 9th game as a Philly. He carries a .368 batting average, 7 hits and 19 tries. As a pinch hitter, Cardinal is 1 for 2 with 2 runs driven in. Cardinal, veteran outfielder acquired by the Phillies this year. Cardinal is 34 years of age. This is his 14th year in the big leagues. Cardinal, a .276 lifetime batter, right-handed hitter. Astros setting up for the double play. Jose, a good runner. Here's the pitch to him. It's in at the knees, a strike. 5 years in a row, he led the Cubs in stolen bases. From 1972 through 76, he averaged 25 a year. 1 year, Jose stole 40 bases with the Indians. The 1-strike pitch to him is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cardinal, pinch hitting for Hebner. Richie tonight had been 0 for 3 with a walk. He did score 1 run. The only Phillies run. The 1-1 pitch to Cardinal is fouled off. 1-2 the count. Well, tomorrow night the Phillies will be looking at Joaquim Andujar. Randy Lurch will pitch that ball game for the Phillies. Andujar is 1-1 lifetime against the Phillies. A ball and 2 strikes the count. Swing and a miss. Cardinal swings and misses at a fastball as he strikes out. Second out of the inning. Well, if it hadn't been for the error by shortstop Metzger, this ball game would be over now. Here's Gary Maddox heading for the plate. Gary is 1 for 4 this evening. He singled in the 6th inning. Phillies missed some golden opportunities to score in this ball game. In the 5th inning, the Phillies had runners at first and third with nobody out, and the heart of the batting order coming up, and Lemongello pitched out of it. In the 6th inning, they had runners at first and second with nobody out, second and third with 1 out, and they didn't score. Here's a very high fly ball into center field. This ought to do it. Cedeno getting over. He makes the catch, and this ball game is over, and the Phillies have lost their 2nd straight here in Houston. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. Astros win the ball game 6-1. We'll have the wrap-up in a moment.
Our love is gone, but to me the old song and the thrill that has long departed.